yokes today. We're going to put in an inch steering stem on it and remove the original Triumph one. Now at first I thought that the Triumph had, if we can zoom in on that, I'd put in a wee Allen grub screw here, but I wasn't so fortunate. That would have been the easy way. What they've actually done is they've put in a roll pin. Now obviously not as large as this, but roll pins come in all different shapes and sizes. Here's a sort of variety I've got, as you can see, from extremely long ones to extremely thin ones. Wait, we'll just pull one of them out. And they are a wee bit. There we go. So you can see the difference in the sizes. That, believe it or not, is a roll pin. Now one of the things, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'll let you into the sort of trade secret on how to remove these when they're in, is you use these, which are drifts that are specifically built for roll pins. The dimple at the top simply fits in to the hole in the inside of the actual roll pin, stopping it expanding. And these come in a whole variety of sizes, not very dear. Just don't use them as ordinary punches or you'll damage the dimple at the top. Unfortunately though, for this job they didn't put a hole right through the steering head, which would have been nice because it is hollow. They've actually just countersunk a wee hole into there and hammered it in. So the only way to get that out that I know of is to drill it out. And obviously these roll pins are made of spring steel, so they're tough so-and-sos. So really the only way that I know again to get these out is to just drill them out a bit at a time. So the outside diameter of this one is about 5.5 millimeters, which is just under 1/8 of an inch, and it won't do that in the one job. So what I do is I find a drill that will just slightly wider than the hole that runs down the centre there, and I drill that out and then take it up at 1/2 mil increations. That doesn't sound right. Increase it by 1/2 mil at a time, drill it out, and eventually we should get right through to the bottom of the countersunk hole in there. So we're going to push on and do that this now, and I'll take you sort of through the procedure of doing that. Not too sure whether this has just been pressed in here or whether it's threaded in, but again we're going to find that out quite shortly. If it's pressed in, I'll give the alloy a wee bit of a heat and chap it out. If it's screwed in, I'll just hold the steering stem in a couple of alloy jaws stuck onto the vise, which gets a good grip on it, and try and turn the yokes. Anyway, so we'll push on with this now and let you see how it progresses. Right, I just wanted to show you this while I was actually drilling this out to the virtually the final size. I could hear it squealing a wee bit. I've had to sharpen the drills probably 10 times, about 5 for the size below this about 3 times, and 2 for the first size I started drilling out, which I think was about 3.5, 4 millimeters. But as you can see, it's just about to fall here. It's actually brought the pin right out. Oh, sorry, there you go. It's actually drawn that out as it started to heat up. So you can see where it's been drilling, and it just got hot enough, started spinning on it, and I've pulled the drill out. It was a bit tight pulling the drill out, but it's come out with this attached to it. So that's been quite successful. It's good when it goes like that and the drill doesn't break in it, which you just got to be very careful for, because that can really screw it up. But I just wanted to show you that, just to let you see what it's like when it comes out. Right, so what we're going to do now is actually cut this steering stem off, sort of fairly flush in here,
put it into the mill and square it all off. And what I've actually done there is I've tapped this hole, I've drilled it out and tapped it, and I've put a M8 grub screw in it, and that will secure the bottom part of the steering stem. And I'm actually going to use that. It's nice and tight in there, so there's no point in me mucking about with that and trying to knock it out. And I'll actually drill it out and machine a bar and fit that in there using the grub screw, an interference fit, and then I'll put a washer in at the bottom and probably weld it in place as well, so that it'll be nice and secure there. And similar up the top here, so that I can use the top yoke. I'm planning to cut this off and machine that onto the inch bar that I'm using for the bearings, so that it can use the custom front end. Right, so here we are hammering on the top part of the steering stem spindle onto the inch bar for the bearings. As I say, this is so that I can fit any custom front end, but we're originally fitting the Triumph Trident yokes onto it, or triple trees as you call them in America. So as you can see here, I've made it an interference fit. You can see that I've V-prepped both of them because I'm welding them, but it's I'm having to chap this down. It is nice and tight, and if we can see inside here, we'll try and get the torch on that. What I've actually done is I've machined a wee step on there, and I've threaded the top of the bar with an M6, which is 1/4 inch. And excuse me, I'll just get this. Right, and this is the wee fitting that's going into it. There's an Allen bolt, and as you'll see here, that just fits in. And the Allen bolt screws into the thread at the top, and we'll get an Allen key here. And what I'm doing to draw it down is I'm tightening that up real tight, and then actually using part of the old steering stem that I parted off in the lathe, and I'm putting that over the top there and hammering it down a wee bit at a time, taking it back off and then retightening the Allen bolt here and gradually knocking it down. It's got a distance to travel of 45mm, which is just under 2 inch, and that'll be it nice and tight up to the lip here, and then I'll put a weld round it. I wanted this to be a really tight interference fit so that it would be obviously run through with the shaft. I centred the shaft on the lathe before I turned it, obviously, so that everything's nice and aligned. And then when I've got this in position and welded it, I will put it back into the lathe and I will turn the weld down to a smooth radius so that we've got a sort of slight taper. This is just under inch, I think it's 24 or 25mm, so it's just a fraction under that, and that will allow the locking tab as well to fit. Then this piece is for the yoke, and then the nut at the top just to hold it all in place. But this is one way to do it if you don't fancy turning all these threads in a lathe. To me, this is just as fast a way of doing it as turning all the threads and everything, especially since the spindle was hollow to start off with. And as I say, it's a nice tight fit on here. I'm having to chap it. I've maybe been chapping it now for 3 or 4 minutes just to knock it down sort of 30 odd millimetres, just over the inch. So as I say, it is fairly tight, and shouldn't, when it's all bolted in place with the top Allen bolt as well, it really shouldn't warp or move at all when I put the weld round it, and that was how I designed it. So we'll push on and show you as we sort of progress it a bit further. Right, so that's it hammered completely to the bottom, so that the 2 chamfers are just ready to get welded. And here you'll see how the centre shaft just sits a fraction below the edge that I've turned into the old steering stem, and that allows the bolt to actually put a fair bit of pressure on it as well. So it's sort of doubly ensuring that it will never come loose in reality. So yep, that's worked exactly as planned. So we'll just clamp that in the top part in place now and weld it all up and put it in the lathe and smooth out the weld and machine the bottom part to go into the bottom yoke. Right, so that's the steering stem fully machined. All I've got to do is attach it to the bottom yoke, and what I've done is I have drilled and tapped that for a M10 and made this wee tapered bush up that sits over the back of this, and I've countersunk it just so that it's not sticking out any higher, and that will give me room to put a weld around the V-prep you see here. I'll give this a clean obviously to get all the oil and grease off it, and I'll give it a bit more of a V on there as well. Well, it'll be a V when the two of them are together, and put at least a few tacks if not around a weld round there. And that's literally, that'll be the yokes finished for this. Probably more complicated than what I'd have liked, but such is the way when you've got to fit the standard yokes back on again. We have this threaded section that goes down onto the top set of threads, and then the yokes sit on the clear section here, and then you've got the top nut goes on the top of that. But yep, it's done now, so we'll just assemble that and I'll show you that when it's fully assembled. Yep, really nice lines to it. Really liking this. Wish I'd built it for myself. It's using the Triumph Trident modern, I think 2003 Triumph Trident running gear on it. Triumph Tiger motor in it, from the old school, single carb version. Isn't that lovely? Lovely line. Of course it will drop just a wee tad to make it totally level. When you put the engine in and the rider on it, it'll drop about 3/4 of an inch probably. So just making the frame totally level. And there we have it at this angle, just turned it so you can see it from the other side really. You can see how the drive goes to this side. The back wheel's been turned round in the opposite direction for anybody curious. To run this setup